Filipino singer shocks the world, sounds exactly like Elvis. Simon Cowell freezes on AGT 2025. The lights of the AGT 2025 stage burned brighter than ever that night, but no one paid attention to them. All eyes were fixed on a quiet young man standing at the center, clutching an old microphone like it was the only thing keeping him upright. His name was Marco de la Cruz, a 24-year-old from a small fishing village in the Philippines. He had never been on a plane, never left his hometown, and never imagined he'd be standing before millions. Yet here he was, trembling, but determined. Marco had arrived in America with a single backpack, a pair of borrowed shoes, and a dream he didn't even fully believe in. Back home, he used to sing at the local pier for fishermen who tossed him coins or leftover bread. His father, who adored Elvis Presley, always told him, "Son, you don't need money to dream. You just need courage." But after losing his father 2 years earlier, Marco stopped singing publicly. The music had hurt too much, until a community fundraiser helped him buy a ticket to AGT auditions, urging him to share the voice they all believed the world needed to hear. Walking onto the stage, Marco felt the weight of every sacrifice behind him. 1,000 miles away, his mother, working a double shift, was watching on a small phone with cracked edges. He had promised her he would try. Just try. Simon Cowell leaned forward, studying him with that familiar, unreadable expression. "What are you singing today?" he asked. "Elvis Presley, Can't Help Falling in Love, sir," Marco replied, his accent soft but warm. There was a murmur in the crowd. Elvis songs were sacred territory. Few attempted them, even fewer did them justice. Marco closed his eyes. For a moment, the stage dissolved. He imagined his father sitting at the edge of the pier, tapping his foot, smiling proudly. He inhaled deeply, and began. The first note floated into the air, velvety and hauntingly familiar. Gasps rippled through the audience. A woman in the front row covered her mouth. One of the judges dropped her pen. And Simon Cowell, known for his iron composure, froze in his seat, eyes wide, eyebrows lifting in rare disbelief. Marco didn't just sound like Elvis. He felt like Elvis, every note dripping with sincerity, pain, and nostalgia. It was as if the king's soul had taken a brief journey back through Marco's voice. The audience was silent, suspended, almost afraid to breathe. But halfway through the song, everything changed. Marco's voice wavered, not out of fear, but emotion. He saw, in his mind, the children from his village running barefoot across the shore, chanting his name on the day he left. He remembered the old woman who gave him her week's savings, whispering, "For your father. He would want you to fly." He remembered the fisherman who stitched his torn shirt so he could look more like a star. These memories poured into his voice, shifting the performance from impressive imitation to something deeply human. Something Marco. Something real. By the final note, tears streamed down Marco's cheeks. But he wasn't the only one. The audience had risen to their feet in thunderous applause, many wiping their eyes. Even Simon Cowell stood slowly, almost as if in shock, before pressing his hand to his chest. "Marco," Simon said when the cheering softened, his voice slightly cracking, a rarity. "I've heard many Elvis tributes. Many. But I have never seen someone sing with this much heart, this much humility, and this much soul. You didn't just honor Elvis. You honored the world." Marco tried to respond, but emotion stole his voice. Then, something unexpected happened. A small boy from the audience, no older than 7, ran up to the front of the stage and shouted, "Mister, you sound like my grandpa's favorite singer. He's sick, but he watches AGT with me every night. You made him smile today." The boy's mother rushed to pull him back, but Simon stopped her gently and smiled. The entire room softened. Marco knelt, tears falling freely, and nodded to the boy. "This is for him," Marco whispered into the mic. "And for anyone who needs hope tonight." The boy grinned and returned to his seat, waving wildly. And in that tender moment, Simon Cowell slammed the golden buzzer with a force that echoed through the arena. Golden confetti exploded from the ceiling like a shower of blessings. Marco fell to his knees, overwhelmed, as the crowd roared. He wasn't just a singer anymore. He was a symbol of courage, of kindness, of a community that believed in him long before the world did. As he was lifted into the air by the celebration, Marco thought of his father's words. He finally understood them. Courage wasn't the absence of fear. It was the choice to keep singing, even when your heart ached. Millions watched that night. Millions were inspired. But the most powerful transformation wasn't his rise to fame, it was the reminder that one voice, born from humility and love, can touch hearts across oceans. And long after the confetti settled, Marco stood backstage, hands pressed to his chest, whispering a simple promise. To the world, thank you. I'll keep singing, for all of you.